Hi, we're going to be talking about the machine tracking reports. So before you watch this video, you need to make sure you have the machine tracking enabled. You also need to make sure you've used it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hit Owner and go ahead and hit Reports. So the machine tracking reports are all the way at the bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. And here we've got the machine tracking reports. So we got the machine list. So you can see a list of all your machines and make sure you have them categorized correctly. The next one is machine use. So you can see how often each one of your washing machines and dryers are being used during any time period. You've got your live view, so you can see which machines are being used right now for wash and fold orders. And the final one is the order detail and revenue. And this is to view the order details for each machines and see how much profit you're making per wash and fold order. This one is actually the most important one, and I'm going to start off with that one, order detail and revenue. All right, so you could do any time period, you could do any end date, you could do reports for any one of your employees. And right over here, this is the order detail and revenue. We've got 3 different orders in our demo account used between this date and that date. So let's look at order 463. So this order was processed on October 10th at 3:46 p.m. We could see the total pounds of laundry, so it's a 44-pound order. We could see which employee washed the clothes, so Matt Simmons did the clothes. We could also see how much the customer spent on this order. So the customer spent $56, and we put a total of $11 into the machine, meaning we made $45 net profit. So, I know that's not 100% accurate because it doesn't take into account utilities or the lease or any of that information. But it is interesting to know that this is the difference in money you would have made versus if they just put the money in the machine themselves. So we got the order total, how much the customer spent, and how much your attendant put in the machines. Now, if we want even more information, we could hit this down arrow. And this gives us a really cool breakdown as far as which machines were used. So you can see that we use these 3 washing machines right over here. So they use washer 1, 5, and 3. And so here's the machine mix. We also know exactly what time they put the clothes in the washing machine. We know over here what we did is there's a 44-pound order. So because we used 3 washing machines, the software broke it down, divided 44 by 3. So on average, and again, it's not 100% accurate, but it gives you a ballpark. On average, each one of these 3 machines had 14 pounds in it. Now, if your employee used an 80-pound machine, then you got a problem, most likely. And you could also see how much money they put in the washing machine as well. The other really cool part is this is time-stamped. So you can see they put the clothes in the washing machine at 3:46, and then they loaded up the 3rd machine at 3:49, and then 2 minutes later they took the clothes, well, it's a demo account, but they put the clothes in the dryer a few minutes later. So that's good information to have. If there's a 2-hour differential, well, what that means is they let the clothes sit in the washing machine for a couple hours before they got to it and put it in the dryer. Another thing that's pretty handy that's pointed out, by one of our clients is what's real handy as well is to make sure they're not loading up all the machines all at the exact same time for all the orders and then clogging up all of the machines, and then your customers don't have any. So if you want to make sure they're only using a certain number of machines at once, this is a very good way of making sure they're not using more than their fair share of washing machines. All right, so that's the order detail and revenue. One thing to keep in mind is when you hit the drop-down menu, so I hit the drop-down, these columns do not line up with these columns, okay? So these columns right here, it's a subgroup and it has its own columns right over here. So don't get confused. This is not the pounds of laundry. All right. So that's pretty much it for the order detail and revenue. This is the most information-rich one of the reports. All right, and once again, you can break it down by employee if you like. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit reports, and we're going to take a look at a different report. Okay, we got our machine list, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. This is basically just a real simple report showing you, have you labeled all your machines correctly? And you could save this as a PDF. I could just tap PDF and it saves it. onto your computer, or you could hit Excel if you like. And now we've got a list of all of our washing machines, and we can make sure they're all accounted for. So this is just to make sure you put in the right information. All right, let's go check out another report. Machine use. Okay, so this is a pretty cool report. It shows which machines are currently in use. So it says in use right over there. And it also tells you how many turns it's had. So this is during a 14-day, 15-day period. And so you could just look at today or yesterday or the whole week, it's up to you. And you could see how many times your launders have used machine W2 if you like. You know, which are they preferring certain machines? It's just good information to have. And once again, this is, and you could also break it down by employee if you like. You could set the date. You could just look at washing machines or dryers. So it's a handy report just to see where they're getting use. And keep in mind, this is not how many times your customers are using the washing machines and dryers. This is only for wash and fold orders by your employees. All right, the final report for machine tracking is the live view. And this is one way of being able to use your phone or computer at home, and you can see which machines your launders are using right now. So this is a great one for accountability. So according to this, our launders are using machines W2. Well, they're using it twice because it's a demo account, but they're really just using W2 and W3. And these are the only machines being used. So if I were to look at the cameras and I see them using a whole bunch of other machines, that would mean that they're not really recording those orders. You know, they're doing it outside of the system. So this is a good way. Like if they're working on 5 orders, you should be able to look at your phone and it should show 5 washing machines or however many washing machines they're using for those orders. So, all right, so that's pretty much it as far as the reports for machine tracking. We hope you enjoy this feature.